Welcome, Mr. Ramsingh. How are you doing?
Good day, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure for you. I'm really happy for you to be here. And we want to look a little further afield than Port of Spain and environs and looking at the Couva Point Lisa's Chamber of Commerce. What are some of those current developments that the Chamber is really saying, okay, well, we're paying attention to this? What are some of those things on the forefront of your focus?
Well, coming out of the pandemic and with businesses um, still struggling to get back onto their solid footing, the Cuba Chamber is looking at more networking and trying our very best to create a lot of investment in the Cuba area, trying to get all our members and by extension the business community more interactive with each other so the business can start to flow and generate as much as possible.
Are there specific businesses that you're trying to make those connections with? Is it under themes? Is it under, okay, well, I know this person, so let me link this person up with that? What was the process like?
Well, we basically look at the customers, the members. It's mostly SMEs. We are, as you know, Trinidad is a strong importing country. So we try to assist the members that are important to find cheaper markets. We try to put them into newer markets, places where they can get products and services at a cheaper value. And we are also trying our very best to see if we can assist either some of our manufacturing members and even the exporting members to try and export out of Trinidad as well. We are looking at different markets and trying to make connections and linkages with other entities and embassies and stuff like that.
And I actually saw a post on the Chamber's Facebook page saying, don't miss out on the opportunity. And this was for the Agri Expo that recently took place. And that it feels as though that kind of falls in line with what it is you're saying, looking for new markets, be it cheaper sources to import from or markets to penetrate. And am I along the correct wavelength with you, President?
Yes, we were just helping assisting marketing the Agri Expo. It was held more in Port of Spain, but again, we would do anything to assist our members. Part of our mandate too is to bring as much information to them as possible, so they are up to date and current and not left behind with the relevant activities that are taking place. And as you know, agriculture is our main focus with the government and also all chambers and stakeholders. We understand the importance of feeding ourselves. And other than feeding ourselves, there's a huge export market now within the region and beyond the region for agriculture.
And you started giving me some information, and I want you to continue on that. So, in terms of the membership of the chamber, you said many a time the membership would consist of SMEs, also importers. What are some of the other characteristics or some other information about the chamber's membership that you can share with us? Thanks.
Well, the chamber is obviously it's the Couva Point Research Chamber. We have some members from the estate. So we have a couple of the energy companies that are our members, but they usually focus more on the energy chamber. Our main core base really are the businesses between the Couva, California, Point Research area. And in our constituency area of Couva North and South, that makes up most of the membership is a lot of family-owned, family-generated businesses, generation business that has been handed down from great-grandfather to father. Now their sons and daughters are running the businesses. And because of the generation, all these older heads knew one another and passed down to their children that knows one another now. So it's a close network, and we try to keep that network as tight as possible.
You're keeping the network as tight as possible, but at the same time, you're also trying to expand that a little bit. Are there any challenges that come with those two processes taking place at the same time?
Well, let me just elaborate on when I say keeping the network tight. I mean, we try to encourage each other's business. We don't try to, we try to give each other's business first, and if we cannot provide the service, then we look outside. And we also try to expand each other's markets as well. Yes, we look at we look at other places to import from and also try to export to. And I mean, just right here in Trinidad, I'm speaking about in and out of the Couva Point Lisas area.
In terms of that Couva Point Lisas area, President Ramsingh, what are some of those wider challenges or feedback that you get from the membership saying, okay, well, these are issues that we're dealing with. Can you help? Can you take this issue further? What are some of the things that are saying, okay, well, we're having problems with this and we want to see how they can be addressed?
One of the main issues that we have is obviously the crime, the issue of crime. Crime is something that also deters commerce because people feel threatened and frightened to keep their businesses open after certain hours. They don't open as early as they used to because sometimes now you get held up while you open your business. But the Couva Chamber has always kept a very close relationship with the Couva Police, with the Grand Couva Station, with the Freeport Station, and by extension, the Shogunas Station, because that's where most of their heads are in Shogunas. And we constantly have meetings with them in regards to sharing information. We give them ideas, we give them things that we would like to see done, and they also in turn tell us what they need, and we try to assist and we try to lobby to the relevant authorities to get what they need. And we always come up with almost the same conclusion. The stations are undermanned and they lack a lot of vehicles that assist them in doing their crime prevention properly. But other than that, the Chamber is proud to partner with all the youth clubs because we have taken another initiative where we want to prevent crime before the person becomes a criminal. We work very closely with a lot of youths in the area, especially with the TTPS, so we don't breed new criminals going forward.
And if there's a youth club or someone who says that I want to work with the Chamber, how do they reach out? Is there a formalized process to do that?
To join the Chamber, you just need to visit the office or go online from our Facebook page, download the application form, sign it, email it back, and the office takes care of the rest, and you just pay admission, and that's it.
All right, and with that in mind, we want to take a short break. When we come back, we continue speaking. We're speaking with the president of the Couva Point Lisas Chamber and a gentleman by the name of Mukesh Ramsingh. Stay with us. We'll return with more. Welcome back. We are going in depth on the workings of the Couva Point Lisas Chamber. We're doing so with President Mukesh Ramsingh. And Mr. Ramsingh, I like the fact that we're speaking and you're giving me a lot of information. So it seems as though you like to speak from a point of information. So I don't know how much you can add to the issue of scrap iron right about now. And because I say that because different people will have different views. I'm wondering if you or the Chamber has a specific position on it as yet.
We don't have a specific we don't have a specific view on it, but we do understand that the scrap iron business is a lucrative business, and it is a sad time when the government has to take a very strong position on closing down an industry for 6 months. We don't want to comment too much on it, but when crime is something that is affecting each and every one of us, and when a business is operating under the influence of a little crime, well, I shouldn't say little, but under the influence of crime, because I believe they shut down the businesses because of the fact that the cables are being stolen. People, private property has been stolen and sold to the scrap iron dealers. But we would like to see a little more regulation in the business. One thing I would like to add though, businesses buying stolen items is something that is not very much looked at by the law. A normal business person, let's just use a retail shop for instance, buy stolen goods. He will feel reluctant to do so because he has to keep it in his business. And the possibility is the authorities could come and find it there and he might get in some trouble. When it comes to the scrap iron dealership, they could buy stolen goods, put it in a container and ship it out very fast without anybody tracking it and knowing where it is. So I think the business needs to have some sort of regulation, and we need to probably look at legislation, more stringent legislation to deal with the criminals that are stealing the cables and the people's personal property.
But you raised 2 points there, President Ramsingh, and that one of them is a question I have as well in terms of like, how do these things get moved? Is it that they melt it down so it doesn't look like somebody pretty gate before they sell them to somebody? But I think that's a conversation for another time and possibly another person. But getting back to the business of the Couva Point Leasers Chamber of Commerce, thank you. I like the fact that it seems as though the chamber is trying to build capacity within membership. And one of the things that I would have seen is a webinar, I think, in terms of looking at business through cloud solutions. Why did the chamber decide, okay, well, this is something that we want to do? And what was the response to it?
The deliver the cloud solutions, I don't think we did that as yet. We are currently in the process of marketing and promoting. What the chamber does though is that when entities come to us and ask us to assist them in promoting and sharing information to our members, and once we find that it is of good relevance and of good sustenance for our members, we partner with them. The IT cloud solutions, I don't think that one has come up as yet, but we are in the process of dealing with that, and we continue to try our best to deliver as much pertinent information to our members as possible.
Thanks so much for that. And I think there's one also, and you let me know what's going on with that too, in terms of like Spanish for business professionals. That's
right. So yeah, the chamber has an ongoing free Spanish beginners class at the chamber for our members, because we came to understand that a lot of our business members have Venezuelan nationals as their employees. And sometimes you don't get the best productivity out of them because of the lack of communication. And just simple business Spanish, it could take you a long way into knowing what your employees' needs are and what you can.
Look like you muted yourself for a second there, President. And while you unmute yourself, I'd share the experience that. And yes, so I had the experience. I went. It was just by the Couva flyover, and there's a new spot with some places that have opened up, and I gave my order, and the fella took it. We were speaking for a second, and then he basically looked over his shoulder and he rattled off the order in Spanish, and I was like, "Wow!" And so
yes,
we
try to get more of our business owners close to that as possible.
And looking at the fact though that other success stories, other things that you're doing, and it seems as though that you're doing them well. What are some of those other things? I want you to toot the horn for the Couva Point Leasers Chamber of Commerce. Thanks.
Since this executive was elected, we started off joining with the Ministry of Health for a mass vaccination drive, which we are very proud of, because when we got elected, it was a matter of 2 weeks' time we had to put everything together. And the ministry and the relevant authorities were very helpful. Even members of the TTMA and the Supermarkets Association came together to assist us because they were already on board doing it. And we felt very proud to be part of that process to bring back businesses to operation as soon as possible. Shortly after that, we had the first time we had somebody from Guyana come in, the Minister of Health, the Minister of Agriculture of Guyana and the Foreign Secretary came to the chamber, and we opened up a lot of doors. They had a very huge seminar, agricultural seminar and business seminar in Guyana, and the seminar we did open the doors for a lot of Trinidadians to go across there and experience that. And now we see that one of our members, Novo Farms, just signed an MOU with the President of Guyana. All these things came about because of what we started, and we opened the doors for everybody. We did a very huge seminar with the Indian ambassador. And again, travel is a little bit restricted and people are concerned about traveling due to the coronavirus. But the doors are opening up again. And one of the main things that I look at, I've experienced when I met with people from the embassies, because we also met with the US ambassador, we also met with the Colombian ambassador. And one of the things that I noticed, though, these countries have embassies set up here, but their doors are to only open one way. They are looking to get people to their countries to come and open shop in Trinidad. I am pushing and working and opening the conversations for Trinidadians to go across in their country to open business. And I'm talking about India, Colombia, and even the United States. These are the conversations that we are having currently with these entities. We want the door of business to swing both ways, not one way. Trinidad has been a welcoming market for everybody to come here and open business. But from the time a Trinidadian wants to go across anywhere else, there's tons of red tape that we are trying to cut through.
But President Ramsingh, I see many, many, many people talking about Novo, and it seems as though you're doing big things. But looking at having those success stories, and one of the things that you just spoke about, it feels as though there's more of a thrust for private sector and government to work together for the betterment of the country. How important is that from where you sit as president?
I think that is very, very, very important. There's no word to describe how important now in this time that private and government has to come together to get certain things done. And when we did the vaccination drive, I saw how much, and I saw how easy it is for private and public sector to come together to get certain things done when it's needed to be. There are other aspects that are taking place here. We have Trinidad Parboil that is just recently was awarded some land to put on a rice mill here in Couva. That is a public-private partnership. The Mr. Ronnie Mohammed opened his hatchery, public-private partnership. And these are big things that happening in Central and in Couva in particular. And I've seen the success within it. The only thing, though, the process takes too long. There's too much bureaucracy. There's too much red tape. And that's another thing that in my time as chamber president, I want to be focusing on in the future. I want to tackle town and country, the corporations. I've said it time and time again, anytime I speak anywhere. Every businessman knows time is money. We cannot take 10, 15 years for a project to be completed. All that is time wasting, all that is money wasting. People could have been employed earlier, commerce could have been done a lot earlier. And that's something I'm going to look at, and you're going to hear more about it from the Couva Businessman Chamber before the year is finished.
And while you're doing that, I'm asking you to keep us in mind, because invite us to some of these places so that we can help spread the message as well, the good work that is being done. But we want to thank you so much, President Mukesh Ramsingh of the Couva Point Lisa's Chamber of Commerce. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, I'm Dike Rostant. This has been In Depth. Thank you so much for joining us.